American Horror Stories Episode 3 Drive-In Spoiler Review. Let's get it poppin'. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ADiktion TV. I hope everybody is having a good Saturday. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, before we get into this review, I really just want to say thank you, everybody who's been supporting my channel. And I really want to thank everybody for the love and the support you've been showing me while I'm having a hard time right now, you know, with my fiance's brother having the stroke. And, you know, both of our families are in a hard spot right now with all that going on. It's pretty depressing, but I want to thank you guys for your uplifting comments and all the love you've been showing me, man. Like, it really does help. I don't know if y'all know how much it helps, but it really does, man. And I'm starting to feel normal again. I'm starting to feel like Darius. I'm starting to feel like ADiktion again, you know what I mean? I'm starting to feel like I'm getting back on the horse to keep working on my music and keep working on my channel. So I just wanted y'all to know that, you know, it really does mean a lot to me, and it really does help, man. Y'all been supportive as hell, and I appreciate it. Before we get into this review, you know, it's Saturday. Let's go ahead and take a shot of some good old Jim Beam, you know what I'm saying? Kentucky straight bourbon. It's only got about a shot in it, so let's kill this bottle. Woo! That hit the spot. Woo! It's got a little bit of a bite to it, you know what I'm saying? But a spoiler alert is now in effect. All spoiler video. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I'm gonna have a buzz for this one. But let's go ahead and get into it. So episode 3 stars Madison Bailey, Rhenzy Feliz, and John Carroll Lynch. So we open up on this episode with a character by the name of Chad and his girlfriend Kelly making out. And obviously, you know, the dude's trying to get some. They're a high school couple and he's a virgin. And he keeps trying to unbutton her pants. And she, you know, she keeps stopping him, and, you know, he keeps on trying, and then he gets frustrated. And it's kind of funny because while he's trying to get some, he's got Bob Ross playing on his computer screen. I guess he thought Bob Ross was going to set the mood, and, you know, painting the trees was going to get her all hot and horny and get her going. But he gets upset because he wants to get laid and she's not ready to have sex yet. And obviously, you know, he's a horny virgin. And he's like, it shouldn't be this hard for me to get some. And she gets upset, and, you know, she's like, it's not the right time. I want it to be special. So she storms out of the room, and I remember him saying, he was like, I'm gonna die a virgin. And then the intro starts. You know, the boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's my shit, bro. I rap on that shit. But I love the intro for the new American Horror Stories, this anthology, man. Like, every episode has a different intro that, like, symbolizes what that episode's about. So throughout this whole intro with the classic music, it's got, you know, shots of like an abandoned drive-in movie theater, and there's like blood, and it just looks fucked up. So then we pick up with Chad and a couple of his buddies at a skate park, and he's talking to his friends about not getting laid last night, and you know, how he thought Bob Ross would have helped to get him laid. And you know, his friends are joking around, laughing at him, and they're like, dude, I'll tell you what will get you laid and gets girls ready is fear. And they're like, a horror movie will really set the mood and you'll get in her pants. So Chad's buddies start telling him that drive-ins are coming back in style, and they're telling him about a special screening for a movie called Rabbit Rabbit by a director named Larry Bitterman. And they're telling him that this movie is cursed, and that all the prints of the movie were destroyed besides 2 prints of the film. And the film came out in 1986, and at the screening of the film, all these people started going crazy and like killing each other and biting each other like zombies and acting all kinds of crazy. So they pull the movie, and Larry goes to court, and they're like, we're destroying all versions of this movie. They're like, all prints are going to be destroyed. He gets pissed off, and he attacks the judge, so he ends up getting 15 years in prison for assault. So Chad's buddies are trying to convince him that this movie is cursed and that it was pulled from theaters because it's forbidden and it's a cursed film, and Chad's just kind of like, maybe it's just a shitty movie. And I kind of like Chad's references about, you know, horror movies these days just aren't like they used to be. They're not good anymore. And they're like, dude, we're going to go see this. And they're like, I'm telling you, take Kelly. This will get you in her pants. And his friends got tickets to the screening at the drive-in. So he's like, we're all going to go. Let's go have some fun. So then we cut to Kelly and her gay best friend Dee. And I'm going to say Dee was hilarious. I really like Dee. And, you know, they're talking about her situation with not having sex with Chad. And Dee is telling Kelly, look, girl, don't be scared of the dick. I'm not scared of the dick, so you shouldn't be scared of the dick. You know, and Dee's over there like, you better get that dick while you still got this man. You know what I mean? And Kelly's thinking about it. You can see it in her face, and, you know, and then her and Chad end up talking by the lockers, and they end up making up. And Chad's like, let's go see this movie at the drive-in tonight. And Kelly's all for it. So they're like, all right, let's go do this. So they end up going to see Rabbit Rabbit. So there's a bunch of people going to see this special screening of Rabbit Rabbit. And there's like this long-ass line at the drive-in. And Chad and Kelly, they're waiting in line, and they see, there's literally just one protester. There's this one woman outside the gates of the drive-in holding up this sign with the Rabbit Rabbit logo, and like it's X'd out, and she's out there, she's got on an eye patch, and she's out there hollering like, this film is cursed, please don't watch this movie. And, you know, obviously they're laughing at her, they're like, this woman's crazy, and she's like, just please don't watch it, I promise you, you will regret it. So they all get into the drive-in, and they get their spots to watch the film, and you know, they get out of their cars, they all go over to get refreshments and snacks and like popcorn and shit. And while they're doing that, the crazy woman outside the gate manages to call Chad over, and she's telling him, if you care about that girl, you will leave this screening, you can't watch this film. And she's wearing an eye patch, and she tells him, people will go crazy, people will start killing. And she's talking about how I think her boyfriend or her husband, she was at the original screening in '86, and he like bit her eye out of her head and swallowed it, and he ended up dying, and a bunch of people ended up getting killed that night. And Chad's like, sorry lady, I gotta go. And give me 1 second, my phone is ringing. Sorry about that, y'all. That was an important phone call. But anyways, so Chad, the crazy old woman's yelling at Chad, you know, if you care about that girl, don't let her watch the film, get out of here now. But anyways, Chad's like, okay, I gotta go, the movie's gonna start, and la da da da. So they go get in their car, they got their snacks and their popcorn, and Kelly's friend Dee gets in he gets in the car with one of Chad's friends, and I guess they're kind of a thing. And so they start the film, and Chad and Kelly start making out, and you know, they're fucking, you know, they made up, and she's like, tonight's the night. You know, Chad's ready, you know, dick's on, you know what I'm saying, he's ready to go. So we cut back and forth between between Kelly and Chad making out, and Dee decides he's gonna suck dude's dick, and the movie is on. So Dee is blowing, I can't remember the character's name, but Dee is blowing one of Chad's friends, but Dee can't seem to look away from the movie and concentrate on what he's doing. And same with Kelly. Kelly keeps looking at the movie screen. And Chad's like, fuck that movie. Don't worry about the movie. So she looks away. And Dee is still blowing the other guy. And you can slowly see like people's pupils dilate. And their eyes are starting to turn all bloodshot and red and shit from watching the movie. And you see D still blowing, but looking at the movie at the same time. And D ends up biting dude's dick off and spitting it out. Boy, that made my cock hurt like a motherfucker. So now people start going crazy, and Chad and Kelly are still making out. And Chad's like, what's going on over there? And la-da-da-da. And Kelly's all like, it's gotta be a prank. And if you pay attention, part of Chad believed that crazy old woman. You know what I'm saying? And Kelly's like, she's just trying to scare us and la-da-da-da. But anyways, commotion and shit's going on. And Chad and Kelly, they got lucky. They didn't like watch the movie. They were too busy making out. So someone busts through the back window of Chad's car, and Kelly has to drive the car and ends up running over D, because D's now trying to attack them. And it's nothing but pure chaos at this drive-in. And they end up running over D and crashing the car. So then they go up and hide in the projection room. And the people that work at the drive-in are up there, and they're already infected from watching the film. And so they got to kill them. They hide out in the projection room, and Chad starts watching the movie, but he snaps out of it really fast. He passes out for a few hours, and he wakes up, and he asks Kelly, how long was I out? And she says a couple hours, and she ended up finding a shotgun behind the counter. And she's pissed at this time. You know, she just lost her best friend D. Chad's still just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And at this point in time, where it's been a couple hours, the drive-in is like cleared out, and everyone who was infected is like out causing chaos in other places. So they're like, we're going to track down this fucking director, and we need to find the other print of this film, because there's supposed to be another screening at another theater. So like, we got to track down this director. So they leave the projection room, and they end up finding Chad's friend, and they end up having to kill him. And so they're like, we're going to go track down this director. So they track down the director, Larry Bitterman, living in a trailer with nice-ass vehicles outside. But they track him down, they go in, they talk to him. He's like, what the fuck do you want? What's your problem? And la-da-da-da. And they're like, you have a fucking problem. And they're over there yelling at him, and he's yelling back. And they're like, we just came from the screening of Rabbit Rabbit. And he's like, what? And this part made me laugh, but he's like, you're not infected? La la la. And he's like, wait, you were too busy laying pipe to watch my movie? Oh, you're over there hitting it raw, dog, and not looking at my film? So he starts to explain to them why the movie makes people act like that. And he's talking about subliminals in cinema. And he makes a callback to The Exorcist when the demon's face pops up only for like a frame or two. And he's talking about how people were like throwing up and going into labor during the screening of The Exorcist and shit. And he's over there talking about, you know, how he put like the sounds of beehives, angry beehives, and, you know, all these sounds and glimpses of things in his film that would cause people to go crazy. And he's like, I'm going to make cinematic history with this shit. And then we get a flashback to 1986 where he just got done shooting the film. And he goes into the editor's room, the woman editing the film, and she's over there chopping off her own fingers and shit. And he's ecstatic. He's happy as hell. He's like, yes, this film is going to do what it's supposed to do. And he's explaining this to Chad and Kelly. And they ain't playing. You know, they just lost all their friends. You know, their little town is, people are going crazy from watching this movie. So Kelly ends up shooting Larry, the director, in the knee with the shotgun. And he's on the ground whining, moaning, calling him names, this and that shit. And I like the guy who plays Larry. He played Mr. Jingles in American Horror Story 1984. And I'm pretty sure he played the clown in Freak Show. So Kelly shoots him in the knee, and Chad's all like, where's the fucking prints? And he's like, there are no more prints. That was the only print left. And they're like, bullshit. And he's like, okay, I'll tell you. And he tells Chad where the prints are. And Chad destroys the prints. He starts burning the prints. And, you know, Larry is over there panicking. He's like, no, that's my life's work. dedicated this to so and so, and you know what I mean. He's like, this is my life's work. Don't do this. They could give a fuck less, and I don't blame them. They lost a lot of friends, and so they set his trailer on fire, and we get a little nice Easter egg. They set his trailer on fire, and it shows it burning, and you get a figurine of Pennywise, and then like a bobblehead of Jason, which were pretty dope. I'd like to have those figures. I might have to track some down. And then finally the trailer explodes. So then we get a nice little shot of Chad and Kelly walking away from the trailer as it's exploding. And then a couple hours go by or whatever, and then it cuts back to Chad's room, and they're finally having sex, Chad and Kelly, and Chad's finally losing his virginity. He's finally getting some. And this part made me laugh, but I also like the way it ends. So, Chad and Kelly are finally having sex, and then the camera pans over to Chad's laptop, and the movie Rabbit Rabbit is on Netflix. It's just sitting there, like you know how Netflix will have like new films have been uploaded to Netflix, and it was right there. It was Rabbit Rabbit, and I was like, oh shit. And then the next shot I love. The camera pans to Chad's window, and it's nothing but chaos throughout the town and throughout the city, like almost apocalyptic. So Rabbit Rabbit ended up on Netflix. So now we got the whole city going crazy because they watched Rabbit Rabbit on Netflix, and I thought that was actually kind of a dope ass way to end the episode. Truthfully, I liked it. I mean, I know there's going to be people out there who didn't like it. I enjoyed it. I'm actually enjoying this new version of American Horror Story compared to the past seasons. Like I told you guys, I'm not a huge fan of the American Horror Story seasons. This season, I'm enjoying where every story is different, where it's an anthology. And I enjoyed this episode. I mean, I'm sure there might be better episodes. The acting, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't horrible. I think Madison Bailey stole the show. I don't think the guy who played Chad was all that great. Dee stole the show. Obviously, John Carroll Lynch also stole the show. I really enjoyed this though. It was entertaining. You know, it's only like a 45-minute episode, but I found it entertaining, and I'd like to see a sequel to it. It could be just pure chaos and apocalyptic as hell. But I gotta watch it again with my fiance. She hasn't seen it. She's a little jealous, so we're gonna end up watching it together. But how did you guys feel about American Horror Stories Episode 3 Drive-In? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Let me know down in the comments. I personally enjoyed it. It's not the best, but you know, it's like an adult version of Goosebumps, and I had a really good time with it. Did you like it? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I want to thank everybody for all the positivity y'all been showing me lately, man. Until next time, guys, coming at you from ADiktion TV.